Good evening, everyone. How are we? So I trust you are. Am I speaking and not live? Hi, 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 hi. Hello, 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 hello. How are we doing? So welcome again. It's such a lovely moment to be here with you. I must say, I didn't think I was going to enjoy as much as I am enjoying being here every single day. It is such a pleasure, and I am really excited about our topic or topics that I am bringing to you because these topics are things that I have experienced, and this is where I work from. I work from my knowledge, my experience, and I can bring that to you because by our experiences, we can share. And it's so important to share um, what is happening in our lives that is appropriate to share, especially when it affects other people, especially when it's health wise, and it can bring healing to someone else. So it's always good to see how one have dealt with illnesses and trauma and how does that affect us. Today, I want to talk to you about how I heal breast cancer and domestic abuse holistically. I like to use the word holistically. So, working physical, mental, spiritual, and otherwise. So, we need to work from within. It's so important that we do that. Um, Generally, that's how I have learned to work with myself. Before being diagnosed with breast cancer, I experienced abuse. And I remember there were times that I would bury certain things so deep I didn't want to know, I didn't want to go there. But it was there, even though you think it's not there. It was there because you haven't dealt with it. And I suppose having not dealt with it for such a long time, I escaped sickness and illness for a long time. So I count myself blessed to have done so. But later on in life, I experienced it. And that's what happened. When trauma lies within and is not dealt with efficiently and effectively, it tends to affect our body in one way or the other, whether that is mentally, physically, or spiritually. And we have to bring them all together. So body, mind, and spirit. In my profession, we always talk about body, mind, and spirit. And sometimes I am not sure that everybody fully understand that when we're working from deep within. It's not just applying an oil or a product on the skin. You need to really work with the body, but also you need to eat the right foods. Because in eating the right foods, that would help your body as well. It will help to sustain your body, it will help the healing process, and it will make things much easier for us. So today's topic is crucial. How did I do it? I was eating foods long because my grandmother always said food is medicine. So I always eat the right type of food. But sometimes we don't eat the way we ought to, and we just running on the go. And sometimes we might skip breakfast, or we might skip lunch. We get home late and then have no dinner. So our body is not getting the nutrients that it needs to survive. So today I want to talk to you about, and let's explore the topic, how I heal cancer and domestic abuse holistically. And that had to go with prayer and meditation, and all of that played a role. I wasn't a fan of journaling because I didn't like to put anything down on paper, just in case somebody stole my journal and then they went out there and talked about me without my knowledge. I want to be the one that spoke about it. So now that I'm speaking about it, I have no fear in writing journal, because the thing is that it's happy moments. There will be some sad moments as well, but you learn from those things. You learn from the challenges. So my name is Verna Harry. Verna, Verna Harry. Harry before I got married. Um, my name is Verna. Verna Hayward. And I am here to talk to you on the topics that I have chosen based on my experience and in my expertise. So today's topic have a profound connection between our emotional health, and our physical health, and that's key. So, in the context of breast cancer, I'm talking about, in the context of breast cancer and domestic abuse, it is essential that we eat the right foods to really help our body. I'll be talking about that tomorrow, bringing some ideas to you on how I heal my body using those things. Those are tools that I use. So today I will share some insights, but not because I'm an insight coach, but not just sharing insights, but it's all about changing our mindset, because I had to change my mindset. I had to build healthy habits to be able to do the things that I have done and continuing to do to really help my body to heal. So I want to say welcome to everyone who is on Instagram. If you're looking on Facebook, or you on YouTube. So I want to say thank you so much for all your comments and all the things that you have been saying to me. I appreciate you very much, and I want you to know that I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate you being here with me. Now you will hear my voice a bit croaky, and that's not because I'm ill or anything like that. It's just because it gets that way because since I've had the cancer treatments, my voice have not returned to its full normal self. So I have to keep using like vitamins and stuff like that to really help me. So sometimes it can sound like that, but I don't have a cold or I don't feel sick or anything like that. So as I said, I'm sharing some insights on how to listen to our body. Listening to our body can guide us through recovery, but also tells us that something is wrong. But even before we get to the recovery stage, even before we get to, being diagnosed with anything, our body tells us, slow down. I'm tired. I want to rest. Give me a break. But no, we don't listen. We just feel that we are like an ever ready battery and we want to just keep going and going and going and going and going. But eventually, what happens? The battery run out of juice. And so, a breakdown, depression, all different types of diseases we are being diagnosed with. And then we wonder why. But I think what really helped me and what really saved me most of the time was because I grew up with my grandmother and great grandaunt, and they fed me good food. Food was medicine for us. So what they used to feed us really helped us, and therefore it fortified us. So it's like you're building a house, and your house need a solid foundation. And if you don't put a solid foundation, the wind will come and blow it down. It won't be able to stand. And if you build it on sand and the waves come, it's just going to fall to pieces. So it's the same thing we have got to do with our bodies from very young. As parents, we need to be feeding our children the right types of food to help them to building blocks that will help them to fight diseases. Okay, so it is crucial that we do that. Our body guides us. And it's time that we take some time to listen on how we can create a safe and nurturing environment for our future generations. So when we listen, our kids can see that. Our kids can see us listening to our body. And how would they know? Because we probably say, oh, mommy feeling tired. Oh, daddy feeling tired. I just need a break. But why are you tired, mom? I just feel a little bit depleted. I feel a little bit out of sync, and that's because your body is telling you. So I just want us to recognize that. So we want to talk about the power. The first thing we're going to talk about is the power of listening, and we will talk about recognizing the signals and trauma impact, how trauma impact our physical being, as well as personal commitment for protecting generations. I may not go through it all because it's such a long topic, so I may have to do it in two. Um, and the path to healing. So we have quite a few different topics, so I probably will just go through it very briefly. So when we're talking about the power of listening to our bodies, I know my body was communicating with me to slow down, and I didn't listen. And I paid the consequences for it. But the consequences could have been worse. Trust me, it could have been worse. So I am very grateful and thankful that I listened to my intuition. So when I say our body communicate with us, it communicate with us in remarkable ways. We will feel tired. We will sense in our body that we need to go see our GP. But sometimes we don't want to go because we think I'm busy doing something. I was speaking to someone earlier today and she said, I wasn't going for any treatments. I wasn't going for checkups, but it's so important for us to go for checkups. So I'm so glad now that I have started going for checkups. So we may not want to hear the results. We may not want to know what's going on with our body because we can't see the inside. We can only see the outside. So when we get a bruise or we get a cut or something, we can see that. But inwardly, we can't see it. Hence the reason why it's important for us to get those medical checkups because our organs get affected by that. So they get affected by those things. And research shows that chronic stress and unresolved trauma can significantly impact our physical health. Okay, so research here in the UK shows that, for example, the UK National Institute of Health and Care Excellence, which we call NICE, reports that emotional stress is linked to various health issues, including cancer. Couldn't think that, but it says including cancer, and it doesn't differentiate what type of cancer because there are many different types of cancer. So including cancer, and also a study from the British Journal of Cancer highlights, listen to this, highlights that chronic stress can compromise our immune system, potentially affecting cancer progression. Okay, so when our immune system is compromised, it can increase the progression of the cancer. So when we're not eating the right food, when we're not eating, yes, we are told to eat 5 a day. But what is our 5 a day? Yes, red, green, yellow, blue, whatever. But we need to know more. And this is where I delve into it because I wanted to heal myself. I wanted to heal not just because now I know that I was still holding on to certain stresses that was going to affect me. I wanted to know about what was happening in my body. So I went on a research to find out what was happening. And so I found a doctor that I aligned with, who is a scientist, a medical doctor, and also his study is on the genesis, which is our blood, how the blood flow and how we need to renew. We have blood cells renewing continuously, and we have this highway. I mean, it's this massive highway of blood vessels going through our body, sending blood to every organ, every tissue, every muscle, everything you can think about in our body. We need blood to flow through our brain, our lungs, our liver, our kidneys. We need blood, and we need to do that by eating the right foods, by taking the right supplements, and everything like that. So that was an eye opener for me. And I decided, okay, I'm going to stick with this. I'm not going to run here and run there looking for all different things. This suits me, and I will look at it and I will create. He had like a plan, a weekly plan of what you should eat and what types of food. So if there was something there that didn't agree with you, there was something else that you can replace that with. So if you want to know more, I plan was I had have the book close to me, but I forgot to get it close, so I can't show you the book. But when I'm doing my next talk tomorrow, I will do that. So yeah, so as it says, the British Journal of Cancer highlights that chronic stress can compromise the immune system, potentially affecting cancer progression. Reflecting on my journey, I remember my body signaling to me to slow down before I was diagnosed with breast cancer. As a matter of fact, before I was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, I never like to say, I never call these things mine because they are not mine. I don't claim them as mine, but yes, I acknowledge them, that they are happening in my body, and I need to take the necessary precaution to heal myself. And so this experience underscores the importance of heeding our body's early signal. So your body sends you early signal, and I can attest to that. It sends you early signal, and we need to listen. We need to listen. We need to pay attention. We hear, but we don't listen. We feel, but we don't act. It tells us move, and we're thinking, oh no, I'm not going to move. Oh, slow down. No, I'm not going to. I need to finish this. Now, you drop down. That still need finishing, but you're not able to do it. So, what would you rather do? Would you rather listen to your body, or would you rather keep going like an ever-ready battery? No, we saw yesterday the whole internet and flights, everything cancelled because there was a breakdown in the communication system. It's a human error. Human error when we don't listen to our bodies and we get illness, and then we're thinking, but how did that happen? Why did it happen? Whose fault is it? We want to blame somebody else, except looking at ourselves. And this is where it is crucial that we do so. So recognizing the signals. When we understand and recognize bodily signals, it is crucial for our well-being. So when we have persistent symptoms, unexplained pain, or emotional distress, can indicate more profound issues. Something more is happening in our body. And further research shows that from the British Medical Journal now suggests that individuals who are more attuned to their physical and emotional signals are better at managing health conditions and recovering from trauma. Okay, I'll repeat that. The British Medical Journal suggests that individuals who are more attuned to their physical and emotional signals are better at managing health conditions and recovering from trauma. Wow. Wow. So that tells me how important it is that for us to recognize the signal. So recognize when there is unexplained pain. Recognize when there is a persistent symptom. We might think, oh, I don't want to go bother the doctor or the GP, or I don't want to do that. Bother them. That's why they're trained. That's why they're there, to give you the answers that you need. I know sometimes we go and we look on the internet and all those different things for answers, and sometimes we might take the wrong thing. So rather than do that, let's go and find out. Because I know when I found out, when I was diagnosed, and I was told I had to take do surgery and take these chemo and radiotherapy and all of that. I said, like, no way, I'm not doing that. I'll have the surgery, but I'm not having anything else. And I remember my surgeon looking at me as a woman, are you crazy? She didn't say a word, but just her eyes, the way she looked at me, it just told me that this was serious. At that moment, I didn't know how serious it was. I was grade 3, fast growing. And I say fast growing. Okay. So when I then had sat down with the nurse and I realized, oh my word, what's this? You know, and then I was encouraged that okay, it may not agree with you, but even if so, you have to give it a try. And so I give it a try, and it was very strong, but I persisted. So my persistence on I am going to heal myself from this, and I am going to combine. Yeah, I'm going to combine eating healthy foods as well as my prayer buddies, as well as I'm going to take time out for myself, listen to soft music and do little things, and do that. And those are the things that have helped me to heal myself. And I'm still continuing to do it because I'm still undergoing therapy. So I just want you to know, I just want to bring that to you so that you can understand the severity of not listening to our bodies. We hear, it tells us, and we're thinking, oh no, no big deal. I can cope with that. No, you can't. Because you might be at that door. Okay? I could have been there. I may not have been here speaking to you right now. That would have been a possibility had I not listened to my intuition and did something about it. So I want to implore you to take some time. If your body is telling you something, listen. Listen, it might be more than you think. So whether you think, okay, you come for a massage with me, I tend to do an in-depth consultation so we can find it a bit more. I want to know if you've seen your GP. I want to know. I had a gentleman called me. He wanted to have a massage. And then he told me that he was having his C5 operation. And I said, well, if you're having a C5 operation, did your doctor say it's okay for you to have a massage? And since he could not give me an answer about that, he turned and he said, oh, I'm seeing a chiropractor. Okay, is your chiropractor massaging you? Is okay? I know he's aligning you, but is he doing anything else? And since he could not tell me anything else, the answer was no. So have your surgery. After you recuperate, then we can think about that if you have the okay from your doctor. So it's important that we as therapists and coaches, we tell our client, we be frank, we be open with them and let them know what actions they should take and how we will operate. So we should have boundaries. I have my boundaries and I stick to those boundaries. And I just want to get deeper and getting people and letting them know what they should do. So how does trauma impact on our physical health? Trauma, including domestic abuse, can significantly affect our health. It affects your physical health. It affects your mental health as well. It affects your financial and your social, because sometimes your abuser will pull you away from the people that you know. And then they have you to yourself and to themselves, and then they can treat you any which way they want. Okay? So a study by the Center of Mental Health in the UK highlights that survivors of domestic abuse are at a higher risk, at a higher risk for chronic illness and mental health disorders. The research went on to say, for example, when published in the Lancet Psychiatry, has shown that trauma can alter biological processes like inflammation and stress responses, which then may influence the development of conditions such as cancer. So when we think something is just happening, it has started a long time ago. It's like when I studied and I used to do a treatment called inothermy for breaking down cellulite in the body. When we think cellulite have just started, it started maybe when it appeared, it started over 7 years ago or more because of the type of food we're eating, the hormones and all of that, the food that is in our food started a long time ago. So you probably will pinch your skin and you'll see an orange peel effect. It started. Okay? So it's been happening in our bodies a long time ago. It didn't just start. So it is important for you to take notice of your body, what it is your body is telling you, what your body is telling you, and how should you respond. Take it from me. It's important to respond as quickly as possible. And it's important to listen. I didn't listen. And as it says in the research, the Lancet psychiatry has shown that trauma can alter biological process, inflammation, because we know inflammation causes lots of different problems in our body, whether it's arthritis or rheumatoid or whatever. It causes that. And one of the things that I tend to take, which you're going to talk about maybe tomorrow or Sunday, is that I use a lot of turmeric in my food. So because it breaks down inflammation in the body to try and get rid of it. So whether I am sauteing, seasoning my chicken or whatever, I use lots of ginger, lots of garlic, I don't put onions when I'm doing that. I only put onion when I'm cooking, but I put my chili peppers and everything, and I really season that so that it can really get all the nutrients into that. So as I said, it can develop cancer. So addressing both the psychological and the physical aspects of trauma is essential for effective healing. So I'll just breeze through the others because I don't want to keep you too long, but there is lots of information. And maybe at another time we can have like a workshop and I can go through that more. So the next part of it is personal commitment to protecting future generations. How are we going to protect our future generations? So I made a decision a long time ago after I had 2 miscarriages. I would have had a son and a daughter. And after doing so, I and going through all the trauma I was experiencing, I made a decision that I was not going to have any child see me abuse, whether it was a son or a daughter. I was not going to have any children and they see me go through abuse. So I made a decision then that I wasn't going to put myself through that or put my kids through that so that they can see if it's a son, he think that is the way to treat a woman, or if it's a daughter, she think that is the way I ought to be treated. No, I was never going to do that at all to them. So my healing journey is about my personal recovery and ensuring a safe and nurturing future. So as I said, after experiencing abuse and enduring miscarriages, I made a significant decision. So I made a decision that I did not want any child of mine to witness the abuse I went through, or if I stayed in it and I had to go through, because it's difficult. When it's just you could go. When you have kids, it's a different story. You have got to think about where you're going, how safe your kids will be, how you would provide for them. So it's more than one mouth to feed. When I can just drink water and live on water, if I had nothing else, I couldn't do that if I had children to take with me. If I could just eat a banana and be satisfied with the banana, I couldn't do that for my kids. You understand? So I made the decision that I was not going to put myself through that and have any child come into the world and see me go through that and think that's the way they ought to be treated or they ought to treat someone else. So that's my personal decision. So this commitment is about breaking the cycle because I believe my mom and my grandparents from my mom's side, they went through trauma and it goes on. We tend to think that it doesn't happen, but generations, it goes on for generation, and you want to break that cycle. So this was my way of breaking the cycle with my, if I had to have any children. I was going to break the cycle that this was never going to happen. My kids was never going to see that. And that's what I did. That was my decision. Nobody forced me into it. Yes, I think about them. I think about, if they were here, I would have had a big son and a big daughter. We would have been doing things together. But then again, I look at it the other way. So I could be sad, but I look at it the other way. If I had them, I would not pursue to go to university. I probably would not have gone and traveled the world and work on cruise liners and meet people from all over the world. I probably wouldn't be here speaking to you right now. I probably won't have my clients that I treat. So I made a decision that my clients were going to be my babies. And I was going to give them the best of me when I do a therapy or I have a conversation with them. So if I was going to give good instructions to my kids when they're growing up, or I can invest that into my clients and I can give them the best of me. So that was my decision. That's the decision that I took. How am I going to give that love? How am I going to give that care? And how am I going to distribute it? And so I made a decision then, this is how I am going to distribute that care and that love to my clients. So as I said, so that was my commitment, as I said, breaking the cycle of trauma and showing that any future children are raised in a supportive, loving environment. Research from the Family Rights Group right here in the UK supports this approach, emphasizing the importance of creating a safe environment for children to prevent the transmission of trauma across generations. Okay, so that's just me. Everyone is different. Everyone knows. And not that I don't want children, but because I have godchildren, I have children that I brought up. Yes, they were not mine, but they become mine because my thought and my process is in them. You understand? So yes, you can have kids in a different way. So let's go quickly and I can finish this. So the healing path. So the path to healing is not easy. Okay? It is not easy. You have to do the work. You have to do the work to heal. And it is deep work. But you want to do the work in a way where it's not about remembering. Like some things we don't want to remember, but we have to, but we don't want to talk about it in a way when you think you're not able to speak about something and it's going to make you more traumatized. You don't, because I didn't want to say anything about anything until I healed myself, and then I knew I was ready to talk. I was ready to speak. I was ready to become an inspirational speaker. I was ready to let people know and motivate them on how they can look after themselves. So healing from trauma and managing health conditions involves a lot of steps. It is crucial that you do that. So number one, acknowledgement. So you have to acknowledge. You have to acknowledge and recognize and honor the signals your body is sending you. Don't ignore any persistent symptoms or emotional distress. The other signal that your body will send you is get professional support, because we are not meant to handle things by ourselves. We are always meant to walk hand in hand with someone else. And most times we try to do it by ourselves. And then in doing so, we become stressed, depressed, anxiety, all those different things. And we know stress kills. So don't do it that way. Seek professional help. Maybe you want to speak to someone. Maybe you want to speak to your minister. Maybe you want to go speak to your doctor. If you have a close friend who is a listener and not just a hearer, but a listener, speak with them and let them hear you out. So seek guidance from healthcare professionals and therapists specializing in trauma or physical health. Resources like Mind and the Samaritans in the UK offer support for mental and trauma recovery. So there is places you can go to get that. Mind and body practices. So engage in mindfulness, engage in meditation, yoga practices. Research by the University of Oxford found that mindfulness-based interventions can improve physical and emotional well-being. Okay? Self-care. So prioritize your self-care. Balanced diet, regular exercise, and adequate rest. So when you take those things, giving yourself some self-care is not a crime. Long ago, if you were to do that, they'll say, oh, you don't care about anybody else. But if you don't have water in your tank, you can't feed anyone. Okay? You need water in your tank, and you need that water to be overflowing so you can give from your overflow. Not take from your tank and empty your tank and then you're dried up. Okay? Emotional processing. So take part in therapy. So you have lots of therapy support groups. You can take part in those, and that will help you to process your healing from trauma. They have like cognitive behavioral therapy and trauma-focused therapy available through the NHS. And those are very effective. So there are lots of different ways you can find help. As we come to an end, I know I have wished through these as fast as I could, but I wanted to give you the information. I want you to be equipped with the information. So it takes a little bit longer than I want to, but I think it is important to give you the information that is required, because when you have the information, when you are informed, you can then take action. So you can take action and you can start rebuilding, and you can start changing your mindset. You can start rewiring your brain and all of those things by the words you speak and the things you say. It's so important to be speaking the right words. So important to say the right things. It's like a farmer. Remember, you are a farmer in a different way. Like a farmer going out to plant, and he have the wrong seeds for the wrong soil. He's not going to get the produce that he's expecting. But if he have the right fruit, the right seeds, and put it in the right soil, he's going to get a bounty, abundance of fruits or veg or whatever the case might be. So be careful with your words and pay attention. If you want more information, you can reach out to me. If you want to have a talk, I do a consultation, free consultation, so you can book one with me. You can go on my website, which is verna-haywood.com. You can do that there. Or you want to message me via WhatsApp or via Messenger or right here on Facebook or wherever, then reach out. No, I love this song, Reach Out and Touch Somebody's Hand. Let's make this world a better place if we can. And I know we can make it a better place. So as we come to an end, I want to say healing is a journey. It's a journey. It's a journey that requires patience. And it requires compassion and self-awareness. When we take those steps, when we take those significant steps towards our recovery, we will have a brighter future. And we can only have that brighter future by listening to our bodies and addressing the physical and emotional needs. So I want to thank you for being here with me this evening. I want to thank you for taking the time. And I do hope that the insights that I have shared with you on research um, will give you a better understanding and have highlighted the importance of listening to your body and creating a safe environment for future generations. So if you have any questions at all, if you need support, please do not hesitate to reach out. So once again, thank you very much. This is Verna from the Unstoppable Life with Verna Hayward. You can't keep a strong woman down. So reach out if you need any help, if you need any assistance. And I want you to take good care of yourselves. Listen to your body. I think there is a song by that, Whitney Houston, I think. Yeah, so listen attentively to what your body is telling you. So take care and God bless, and see you on my next episode. Speak to you soon.